Philippines has a history of being a country who welcomed refugees escaping conflict, violence, and persecution throughout its history. From accepting the first wave of white Russian refugees during the 1920s, Jews during World War II, Vietnamese refugees after the fall of South Vietnam, and East Timorese who fled their country during their struggle for independence from Indonesia. A total of 9 waves of refugees came to the Philippines. In today's video we will be talking about the story of how the Philippines became a temporary refuge of the second wave of white Russian refugees, this time escaping the communist rule in China. Who are the White Russians? White Russians is the collective name given to the Russians who supported the Tsarist government and the White Movement, those who opposed the Red Russians, the Communist Bolsheviks during the Russian Civil War, 1918 to 1921. After the Civil War, the White Russians fled Russia and settled in different countries, becoming stateless. Some of them settled in China, especially in Shanghai when it was still under the rule of the nationalist Kuomintang, headed by Chiang Kai-shek. But after World War II, the Chinese Civil War ended in the defeat of the Kuomintang, which then fled to Taiwan. Mao Zedong and his communist army now rule the mainland, and at the height of the communist movement in China, some 5,500 Russians left the country to find a new place of refuge. Starting in January of 1949, under the care of the World Council of Churches, and guided by the International Refugee Organization, it was only the Philippines, under then-President Elpidio Quirino, which responded to their letter requesting for a temporary shelter. The displaced White Russians were settled on the island of Tubabao near Samar, Philippines. Tubabao Island has a significant contribution to Russian history after they accepted around 6,000 Russian refugees who stayed on the island from 1949 to 1953. Tubabao was about a 4-hour boat ride from the town of Giwan in eastern Samar, and the displaced Russians from China landed on chartered flights at the former U.S. naval base there in 1945. And were then shipped by boat to the island, where they built a wooden church and lived in tents. The refugee camp housed people of different backgrounds and professions, including professors, engineers, architects, artists, ballerinas, doctors, lawyers, priests, and former officers of the Tsar's army. They even held concerts and cultural shows to entertain themselves while on the island. To earn a living, some of them taught locals, especially children, ballet and piano lessons. The Russians also brought with them their culture and religion, as Michael Borisovich Maximovich, the Archbishop John of Shanghai, whom the Russian Orthodox Church later venerated into sainthood as Saint John of Shanghai, and San Francisco set up 2 places of worship in the island, namely the Church of Saint Seraphim and the Church of Saint Michael the Archangel. For months, the sleepy village became the sanctuary of people who escaped the shackles of the communist movement. In 1951, after 2 years of stay on the island, the refugees were finally granted asylum to the United States, Australia, France, Latin America, and European countries. But some decided to stay in the Philippines. Today there are about 40 Russian families living in Metro Manila. Join us in our next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.